In this area, we have light showers with a nice take of Hey Keenan, take 27.
Yo, what's going on, people? It's Keenan. I am on vacation, but I want to shoot Hey Keenan episode 27 just because I can from the beat. I'm going to do a blog post today too, because I'll tell you what, getting away and taking the time to relax and put things behind you is underrated. We spend so much time talking about hustle and grind that we miss out. I am here in beautiful Cape Cod. All right, this is my view, people. All right, see what I'm saying? I mean, how could I not want to take time and enjoy this? It's been an amazing Labor Day. I hope you guys are having a kick-ass Labor Day. So let's just think about taking time away and enjoying that time, all right? All right, so we're gonna drop some Hey Keenan. I don't know how this is gonna go. It's a little windy, I know. I'm on Cape Cod, if you haven't figured that out. Not New York, not Montauk, not Hamptons, not South Carolina. I'm on Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So, all right, we have two questions today. The first question is,
how do you motivate the unmotivated without pushing them away?
all right, Ryan, that is a really, really, really good question. And it's gonna be a short answer, okay? It's gonna be a really short answer. You can't motivate the unmotivated. You can't. That's the whole point. That's a contradiction in terms. If they're unmotivated, you can't motivate them. Now, with that said, you can inspire the unmotivated to become motivated. You can drop at their feet reasons to change their motivation level. You can give them outcomes or give them visions that make them think, you know what, my lack of motivation is hurting me. I need to change that. I want to turn that around. I want a different outcome. So maybe I'll take it upon myself to get motivated. But look, you can't motivate the unmotivated. You can take those who aren't highly motivated and motivate them to the next level. But I really don't believe you can motivate people who are unmotivated. You can only inspire them to get motivated. Here's the deal. Motivation is a personal thing. It is a decision. It's a choice inside someone who says, you know what? I want something bad enough. I'm going to go up and get it. I'm going to spend an amazing amount of time getting it done. I'm going to work my ass off to make it happen. It doesn't matter what that is. It could be getting out to a beautiful island like this, get motivated to do that, or it could get motivated to start your own business, to change your life with your children, to change your life with your spouse. It could be whatever the motivational objectives are. It could be anything. But at the end of the day, that's a personal choice that someone inside has to make. And what causes people to make that decision, for that light bulb to go off, for that switch to go, changes for everybody. Sometimes they read a book. Sometimes it's something that happens in their life. Sometimes it's frustrating. Okay, this is going to be a short answer, but now I think about it, I'll make it a longer answer, because it reminded me of a time where I needed motivation. It didn't come from an outside person. Something happened in my life. And bottom line is this. I was 23 years old, 24 years old. I was delivering food in Boulder, Colorado. That was my job. I had to go deliver food for a deli, right? It's December. I have to do this because if I don't, I won't make my rent. And I'm making like, I don't know, $7 an hour plus tips to drive around matzo ball soup to people. It was a joke. And this one particular night, I'm working. I'm the only one working. It's snowing like crazy in Boulder. It's dumping. Nobody's on the road. I get a call that I have to deliver one matzo ball soup for like $8 to these people. So I'm gonna make like $1.50. And I'm driving down the road, and on my left-hand side, I see the University of Colorado. I see the university. And I think to myself, what am I doing? I'm on this road by myself. I have no friends that I'm hanging with right now. I'm trying to make rent. I'm trying to keep my head above water. I'm driving this little piece of shit Ford Escort that the company gives me so I can deliver the food when I'm there. It's dumping snow. What's going on in my life? I'm 23 years old. I'm falling apart. I'll never forget that day. Well, that night as I drove past the university, I looked to my left and I said, that's it. I'm back in school next semester. And guess what? I got motivated to get back in school. I figured out what I had to do. I met the right people. I got in on probation. I kept my grade point average above 3.0, and the rest is history. So look, sometimes people have to be motivated themselves, and something happens in their life that snaps, and they're like, that's it, I'm not going to accept this any longer, all right? So answer is, I don't believe you can motivate the unmotivated. You can only inspire them to get motivated themselves. All right, there you have that one. All right, what's our next question?
When going into a new sales team, what are the first 3 things you look at to determine where they are in their accounts?
Mark Shoemaker, that's an interesting question, my man. I love that. I saw that come across Twitter and I was like, okay, we're answering that question. That was dope. All right, listen, I think the answer might surprise you a little. I don't look, okay, so what do I do when I first get into account to determine where they are in their accounts when I get on with a client? I don't spend time looking where each individual sales rep is in their accounts. It's too micro for me, right? So when I work with organizations, I play at the macro level, and then we work down to the micro level. So I don't really look to see where a salesperson is in their accounts. What I do is see where the organization is collectively with their entire sales organization. And the first 3 things I look at that are most important to me are 1, the pipeline. I want to look at the pipeline. I will go through the pipeline, and I want to find out how big is the pipeline in comparison to their goals and objectives. Where and what stages are the pipeline in? In other words, what percentage of the deals are in the early stages? What percentage of the deals in middle stages? What percentage of the deals in later stages? How much of that pipeline is over the average time to sale? So most of them have an average sales cycle, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 18, whatever. I want to see how much of that pipeline is past those days. If a lot of that pipeline or anything in that pipeline past that, considerably past it, I get rid of it. I discount it. I also then want to find out how much of that pipeline is in the early stages and been in an early stage for a long time. So in other words, it may not be past the sales cycle length, but it's been in the early stage for a long time. It's telling me it's not moving. So I start to look at the pipeline and the health of the pipeline first. I want to see, do they have a healthy pipeline? Are they doing the things? Are they positioned well to move forward and make their numbers? The next thing I do is I look at the people, the sales team. I sit down with all the salespeople and I get to know them and I get to understand how they sell, and I make them walk me through the pipeline as they see it. I don't really go into their accounts. Again, maybe once in a while I'll go into one account just to see how they build their deal strategy, just to see how they're positioning themselves, just to see what and how they're trying to move the sale. But that's only one. Most of the time I want to understand how they break down the sale. I want to understand how salespeople view their pipeline, how they're managing their pipeline, and how they look to leverage their pipeline to get to their quota, right? So that's the 2 things I do. And then the last thing I do is I look at a lot of the processes and the strategy. I want to say, okay, where are you trying to go? What do you have in place? How are you managing the salespeople? What are the expectations? What are the goals and objectives? Right? I want to look at, from a macro perspective, how the nuts and bolts come together to drive the numbers. I want to understand how are they engaging? What does a commission plan look like? How does a commission plan motivate or, per our last question, right, incent or not incent the behaviors they're looking to have happen? Who are their customers? What is the strategy, go-to-market strategy? Does it make sense? How have they determined the structure of the organization, right? So I look at that next. And when you look at those 3 things, the nuts and bolts, the processes and structure of the organization, you look at the pipeline, and then you look at the people who manage the pipeline, you know all you need to know. You get it done pretty quick. Look, the way I work with my clients and how a sales guy breaks down consulting is, it's strategy, structure, people, process. If you can get all 4 of those nailed, if your organization can crush all 4 of those, you're done. That's what it's all about. There's nothing that can happen in a sales organization that can take you down that isn't in either strategy, structure, people, or process. Those are the 4 elements to a successful sales organization, and I would argue to a successful organization in totality. Look, a lot of people talk about technology. Well, where does technology fit? To me, technology fits in either process or structure, right? It's not a standalone. I know my boy Marcus Lemonis says people, process, technology, but there's more to it than that. There's absolutely more to it than that. So there you go, peeps. Mark, great question. There's your Hey Keenan from my vacation. I hope this turned out well. I'll introduce you to my lovely hosts and friends here in a second. So y'all, it's Keenan. This is Hey Keenan. Peace. I'm out.
You shout out, I shout back. My take on your questions, you got them, you ask them. Hit me up, hashtag Hey Keenan. We'll rock it out. Until next time, peace. I'm out.
Say hello.
Good morning.
Say hello, Malcolm.
Good morning.
This is Malcolm and Erin Chase, good friends of mine for years. My gracious host in this beautiful place in Great Island, Cape Cod. How's that cigar, Malcolm?
Even better at 9:30.
Beautiful, baby. Say hi to the Hey Keenan crew.
The Keenan crew.
Hey, Keenan crew.
Boom.
Boom.